Jason with an E enters
Yeah.
the stage, and this time he's out for blood.
Well, am I? I don't know.
If you want to.
I don't want to get any.
Everything.
I don't want to get anything. I don't want to get anything recorded that might get me in trouble.
It's all right. I'm already canceled for just being stupid. So
they're handing indictments down. Come on.
So he has been everything: the Illuminati Social Club and Turtle Stash, and the Heartbird
Yes.
Honeys. I know him from In Your Earhole and the Showhole, but more importantly,
excellent.
I just like his sense of fearlessness.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like any wrestler. That's
I am honored to be here. I'm honored you asked me, and I don't know when this one's going to air, but it's either
when I find time in my 5 episodes of a day week.
You either let's see, I'm either on before my girlfriend or after. I don't know when, but
not together.
What's that?
Not together.
No. No.
At the same time.
You did an episode with her about Murder She Wrote.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Expected this Christmas, baby. Yeah.
Yes. or already happened last Christmas, depending on, when this one airs. I gotta say, I respect the fact that, you got these things, 6 months in advance already? It's like,
I have to, man, because I get called into the office last minute all the time. I have had to literally threaten to stomp on my boss's cock by just saying, stop, I need my day off.
I can't get, I can't go 3 days, I can't get a 3-day backlog, it's like, no.
Podcasting is a drug, literally. Like,
I know.
When you get back into it, we pretty much, it's easy to record 1 to 3 episodes a day. Even it's like, okay, I'll meet you at 5. Okay, taking a break. Meet you back here at 7. Okay. You may or may not show up at 9, but you get 1 or 2 get out of jail free cards if you can't make it. But if it just gets down to you got bad time management, then let's just try again in 5 years.
The longest run of podcasting I've done was somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 hours.
Oh, wow.
I did
a 3-hour deal, but 7 hours, man.
I did an episode of In Your Earholes, which was, at that point, it was about an hour because it was a special episode. Then we did, I think we were doing the Anger Core at the time. That one's long gone, and then we did the Showhole after that. And that was like another 2 hours. The Anger Core was 2 hours. It was like,
what was the Anger Core about? If you don't mind me asking.
Basically like current events and stuff. But it's hard to keep up on current events,
especially if they're boring that 1 week. You're like, what? No one died?
We used to do it like every 2 weeks or so, now like the Showhole is whenever the hell we feel like.
Yeah,
we're not.
You guys have a good report back and forth. I know Oliver and all the other guys, and just the very blatant like retro movie picks you go in there is like, see, I know these are the perfect picks because there's no way anyone's going to agree on any of them. Like,
oh no,
they're often infamous movies, but they're going to be the kind of cult movie you would see at 2 a.m. Everyone's told me this is bad, but is it mediocre bad? Is it unbearable bad? Or is it so trashy it's fun? I don't know.
And we're going to talk today about somebody associated with Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
Stop it. It's all everyone quotes about it now, and I'm like, go for it.
My favorite quote is simply
the clapping.
When the big bad realizes he's about to get blown up.
Oh my god. That guy is literally thinking like it's Kabuki theater. He is just wailing on everybody.
It's Halloween 3 is a brilliant movie. It's just, unfortunately, it holds the Halloween title, which, everyone's like, oh, it's not, it's not Halloween,
Even
it's not Michael Myers.
something different.
because it wasn't supposed to be. That's a story for another day. Actually, go back and listen to our Halloween 3 episode of the Masochist Movie Collective.
Woo!
Plug
it in the
shameless plug. I feel like Mick Foley.
I just saw a funny retro interview with him on Conan, just prepping for tomorrow.
Or a cheap pop. Cheap pop was Mick Foley.
There you go. But either way, I've lost track of how many times he would just randomly just be referenced by other wrestlers. What are you, Mick Foley? And it's like, what disc did I miss? Oh. So I've been a casual wrestling guy, and you were a hardcore guy.
I was like hardcore till like probably 2008-ish.
All right, back when.
And yeah,
much like any kind of movies, what we like to do on kind of any kind of pop culture show is kind of ask, how do you defend your honor with dignity? Because it's just so annoying when you talk about certain stuff you like growing up, and everyone's like, dude, that's dog shit. Why would you like that? And it's like, I'm sorry. What, would you rather I watch soap operas? Would you rather I watch infamous cartoons? I like this kind of lowbrow programming.
Luckily, growing up, because I was in grade school in the 80s when wrestling really took off.
Yeah. There are people who hate watch it kind of in a way now, kind of like their favorite sports team.
Mm-hmm. But
you could say that's always the case, but like it's really, really big.
I was in elementary school at that time, and pretty much everyone that I went to school with also liked wrestling. So, it was cool to watch, and it we'd talk about it and stuff. The thing was, like, I didn't have like preview or any of the like paid stations that were coming up at that time. So I couldn't see I couldn't see WrestleMania 1 when it first came out. I actually just watched it like 2 years ago. And I was like, wow, this is disappointing. It's like, wow, I'm glad I didn't spend money on this.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't ask my parents to spend money on this.
I saw this one giant one back around circa 2016, and it was weird because The Rock was making a comeback, and then he and all these other guys and Shaquille O'Neal beat up all these Duck Dynasty lookalikes. I wish I was making this up. Shaquille O'Neal freaking Neal got in the ring with him, and I was like, okay, I think I've seen everything. It was kind of like a music concert you're not really into, where there's some laughs here and there, but it was really not worth the whole 2.5 hours. I didn't pay for it. It was just being held at this film studio where we did network mixing. I'm like, this is weird. Okay, I guess I'll hang out and eat all this Domino's pizza with everybody.
Nothing better than free Domino's pizza.
At least I wasn't alone with this feeling like a group of freaks.
Yep. I am so glad I wasn't watching at that point. I would have just been I would have been embarrassed for everyone in the room, and I would have been alone.
Yeah, it can get that way sometimes, where it's like, why do I like this thing? It's like when a TV show goes downhill and you're just like, yeah, do I value my time anymore? Why am I doing this to myself?
I know why, especially in like the early 2000s, because it was like soap operas for guys. It was just some of the most ridiculous shit you'd ever see. And it was great, especially like when Paul Heyman when he was the head of the writing department, it was great. And then you had the WCW, the purchase of the WCW and ECW and the whole invasion storyline. I mean, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Commissioner
Before we knew that Vince McMahon was a monster, we always had kind of fun just seeing everybody is like, are they gonna go outside of the cage? Are they gonna over choreograph this, or there's someone actually gonna get hurt?
Does somebody else here listen to Behind the Bastards?
That is a really, really underrated show. I'm glad you brought that one up. I mean, I love the Seagal one.
I listened to the whole Vince McMahon one, let me tell you.
Oof.
I feel dirty talking about wrestling right now, but it's a nostalgia. it's a nostalgia trip, but
we look at our some of our testosterone fueled movies, and half of them are like, I can only watch 20 minutes of it now. It's too much fuel.
Oh yeah.
Or it's too macho.
I'm 50 years old. I'm not, no.
Yeah. What do I want to do? Get a heart attack?
But yeah,
I will have to listen to that one. But yeah, it could be definitely done more often on just some of these other business executives.
McMahon is that's about I think it's almost 10 hours.
Yeah. It was like 6 parts, I think. So
yeah, something like that. It's horrid. It is you don't know. Not good.
No.
He is a monster. And I have no problem, like, prefacing this show with the fact that, Vince is a monster. I don't support anything he stands for. However, wrestling growing up was a part of my life and a part of who I am. And, I'm not gonna shy away from that. Yeah, I feel stupid having liked it, but then again, I don't, because I was entertained by it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, imagine I would have been getting in trouble, if I wasn't watching wrestling. So there we go.
Well, and much like some of our bosses, I'm not saying they're necessary evil, but unless you can actually, get them caught with their pants down, it's very hard to get rid of them. And then it gets even more shitty when you're afraid that some other bastard will replace them.
Mm-hmm.
So it does, when you're dealing with even bosses in entertainment, it gets even more. You can see where people even just don't know how to feel when they're like, this guy made my career, but he's a piece of shit, and I know he's doing bad things behind the scenes, but I can't prove it.
I agree.
There's so many people who years ago I would never be thankful for, but I was a yes man back then, kind of a pussy, and I was just kind of like, yeah, well, I'm not afraid of them, but I'll pretend to work for them or just go along with it without sucking up. But I'm still kind of worried that they're watching me.
Oh yeah,
not liking what they're seeing.
I'm lucky in that respect that where I work, it's me and my boss, and that's it. And I am left to my own devices, and life is good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy. So hey, that's great.
Do you feel like a lot of today's wrestlers have it better in terms of getting into movies now that Batista and The Rock have kind of popularized it?
I think so, definitely. Yeah, I think Batista has really proven himself as like kind of he can transform himself. First of all, I will say playing Drax is not an easy thing. To be that purposely oblivious to metaphor, to act like you don't know what a metaphor is very difficult to do. Try it sometime. And I mean, the Rock is The Rock. I mean, he kind of plays the same character in every movie, but it works. I have not seen him in the Fast and Furious movie, whichever one. I think it was 6, if I'm right.
Yeah. 5 through 7, and then he was back in 10 at the last minute, and it's a shame because you can tell he doesn't want to be there. But
right,
every time he goes solo, his movies either get panned or don't make enough money, so he's forced to go back to being part of an ensemble, like with Baywatch, and it's like, why?
I liked him in Walking Tall. I thought it was a decent remake. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward story, and you can't really. My favorite was when somebody was like, well, he's not even playing the same character. It's like, yeah, but he doesn't quite look like a Buford Pusser. So,
yeah, you just can't always have your cake and eat it. I know.
I mean, he looked a little more like a Chris Vaughn. don't, which was his name in the movie instead of Buford Pusser, who the movie was. Well, that was the character, that was the actual person that the movie was based on, the Joe Don Baker's character in the original movie. So,
That's true. And I always found Pooser an odd name, but that is very common, I guess, in those country-ish areas, I guess.
Oh yeah. Trying to think what other, like, of the recent ones or more recent one. See No Evil. I mean, yeah. Gee, it's really a stretch to put Glenn Jacobs in a horror movie.
Oh God, yeah.
It's like, okay, you don't have to act. Just be Glenn Jacobs and you're fine. Just be Kane. Which I believe that was the reason why they took his mask off. Was because they wanted him for a movie, but they didn't want, because apparently WWF/E, whatever, whoever it was at that point owned the rights to the mask, and
oh no,
they own the rights to the imagery of the mask and stuff. So they wanted Glenn Jacobs for the movie, and they said, well, we really don't want to pay the rights for the mask to use them, and we don't really want it to be a wrestling movie.
Yeah, no wrestling, no ball.
I like, when you see some of these guys in movies and they're not being wrestlers, it's great.
It's so
you
unreal.
can see if they can, so you could actually see if they, can they act?
Right? Can they turn off the ego for one step at a time? Same thing with an athlete,
Mm-hmm. I will say, back to Batista real quick. Knives Out, Glass Onion. I thought he was excellent.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there was so many people in that. It was like, oh, that's right, that one rapper. That one.
That was that was definitely an ensemble cast.
Mm-hmm.
We'll return after these messages.
Hey, it's Brent Pope, the host of Breakfast with Brent Pope. You've seen me on some of your favorite TV shows saying things like, give it up, Jimmy. You got to sink this putt to win. On Breakfast with Brent Pope, I sit down with guests from the entertainment world, and we do it all over breakfast. Or should I say Brentfast? Every week on Breakfast, you get inside Hollywood info and tips, great breakfast recs and booty debates. Most of all, you get the most delightful 30 minutes of your week. So dig in. It's Breakfast time. Listen at Breakfast.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever fine podcasts are found.
Do you ever find yourself thinking about who would win in a fight between Goku and Superman? Hi, I'm James Gabsy, and on the Who Would Win show, me and my co-host Ray ignore anything important happening in the outside world and debate fictional battles between characters from comics, movies, and video games.
We got a new show every week, and almost always am I the winner.
Yeah, not true, Ray.
In the past, we've discussed such matches as Captain America versus Darth Vader, Solid Snake versus the Iron Giant, classic matchups like RoboCop versus Terminator, and even the Muppets versus Sesame Street.
That one was crazy. So if you're a fan of geek culture and love a spirited debate, check out the Who Would Win show wherever you get your podcasts, or check us out at whowouldwinshow.com.
Okay, so here's a funny story for you. So I knew a guy who knew a guy who knew another guy who worked on Batista's, if you're still with me, who knew Batista's first movie, Wrong Side of Town, which had Ja Rule and a bunch of other Rob Van Dam. And long story short, Batista saw the movie when it first came out. He was horrified, and that's when he decided to take acting classes. But I feel like a lot of that just doesn't happen. Like, they're just like, well, no one wants me to do that, so why should I try? Then other times, it really doesn't take much to actually muster up the courage and say, okay, I want to play this kind of role. Because, like, you look at The Rock's, like, first SNL appearance, fucking hysterical. Like, he is having, I think, Triple H and a bunch of other guys appear on there, and he's doing a mock like interview, and it's like, see, that came from somewhere. Versus before he decided to stretch out and get better, fire his agent in 2010 and have it be his wife. So I mean, but with anything, I've seen even people who have just had a rough lifestyle, and that's why somehow, other than the talent involved, got him comfortable. So I always wonder, is like, what does it take to really just remind people, hey, you're here to do a job. It can be fun or it can be great. I don't know how much of it is just them getting impatient with the long work days or what. What's your theory, you think, on what gets them to come out of their shell?
Right, just that, the fact that, they if you really look at wrestling, they're one-dimensional characters for the most part.
Unfortunately, yeah.
They come out, they're pretty much you have very little character development.
Characters? What's that?
So you get like Batista, I'm willing to say he probably just didn't want to be shoehorned into that. And you know what? I'm going to spoil it right now, because one of the actors I did want to bring up was one of the wrestlers turned actor in quotes, of course.
John Cena.
No. Actually older. And that is Kevin Nash.
Yes.
You look at his IMDb, between all the wrestling stuff,
extra and so free Jack.
there are so many just Kevin Nash is, big beef guy in in this movie or that movie, or I think he was in the Thomas Jane Punisher movie.
Yes, he was the Russian, and
yes,
so there you go, he's two comic book icons, Super Shredder and the Russian.
He's just, when you need a large guy who really has no acting ability, but can pretend to be beat up and beat somebody up on screen, you call Kevin Nash.
Absolutely.
Because he looks the henchman part, and he can do the henchman part. And I honestly think Batista looked at that and said, I don't want to be that, I want to actually be a little more memorable. And the fact that he did Drax, I was impressed with him.
And he could laugh at himself and all that. Yeah.
And then Glass Onion, he was playing Triple H. He was playing a combination of Triple H and Ric Flair, just that total way out. Excuse me. I just knocked my microphone in my face.
No, he's wrestling with himself, folks.
Yes.
I really recommend him in Marauders, Heist, where he takes over a bus with Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and even the beginning of Blade Runner 2049. But that everyone has had their moment in the sun. That is for sure. And kudos to anyone who can even find the courage to just do any kind of foolery on screen.
My earliest memory of a wrestler being in a movie, of course, would have to be the Rob Reiner classic starring Carrie Elwes, Robin Wright,
Andre the Giant, baby.
Andre the Giant, Princess Bride, probably one of the classics.
I don't understand why people find it cool to hate it now. I'm like, what is wrong with people? I love
that movie.
I don't see how anyone could hate this movie.
It's such a fun movie. You got Peter Falk in it.
Yeah, Falk is getting the old guys in there, and then everybody else is just kind of along for the ride.
It's Christopher Guest, the man of a billion faces.
Right? That doesn't happen every day.
Watch that, then watch Spinal Tap, watch A Mighty Wind. By the way, Spinal Tap, A Mighty Wind, great double feature.
It has to be.
But yeah, Andre the Giant was so perfect in that. And at that point he was in a great amount of pain because of his he had a degenerative disease, as most people know. But
the HBO documentary on him was so heartbreaking.
Oh, I know. But if you watch the anniversary edition of Princess Bride, you watch the interview with all the cast members, and Robin Wright Penn just losing it talking about Andre the Giant, because he was apparently such a gentle guy. Like he hated being he hated being the heel.
Yeah. And he was very realistic about what he was doing.
Mm-hmm. And he he was just supposed to be one of the nicest guys on earth. So I mean, pour one out for Andre. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. If you're out, to any listeners out there, if you're giving this movie hate, man, quit trying to be cool. It's it's not cool to hate on this movie. It's a fun movie.
I don't understand how anyone could. Like, I see so many who are popularizing it now. I'm like, see, what year were you born in? Yada yada.
It was a movie. See if I can get this right. It was a movie that was acted out as if you were seeing it through the eyes of the kid hearing the story.
Yes. We were petulant ones, so therefore we can assume this is a petulant fantasy, and it's our special kind of childish fantasy. And for a childish fantasy, I'd rather live in that one, because there's no moment where I'm feeling like anyone's being a prude or being macho or stupid for the hell of it.
So to all you haters out there, yeah, you're very smart. Now shut up. Shut up. Like Peter Falk said to the kid. Shut up.
Shut up. I know what I'm talking about. Shut up.
So yeah, that was my earliest. That Princess Bride was what, 1985, I want to say.
Yeah, 87. Yep. Close. It's all good.
Yeah, 87. Okay. I don't know. It's been, 2 years, 40 years ago. So yeah, that was love that movie. The next one, the next one after that, 1988. And that was like really the first, like, Andre was he was a cast member. He wasn't really he wasn't the star. I mean, obviously that was probably between Cary Elwes and Mandy Patinkin in that, but Andre was a big part, both literally and figuratively. But then you have, the first starring role that I remember had to be from 1988. Rowdy Roddy Piper. And the connection to Halloween 3, John Carpenter's They Live. Yeah. I mean, it's a movie with a 15-minute fight scene over wearing a pair of glasses. Come on, how can you hate this?
I love a lot of his direct-to-video movies just because they get to the point so fast. There seriously are a lot of fun buddy movies. People might definitely have seen his Billy Blanks ones on TNT, but he has some other fun ones that are just fight to the death, and he knew what he was there for, and he could be a decent actor if he really wanted to at times. Just be the grumpy, veteran next door,
I mean, and if you don't think you know this movie, I got one line. I came here to chew bubble gum and kick some ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum.
All out of freaking bubble gum. Yeah. People just don't know how to have fun with movies anymore, man.
I mean, that was such a fun movie. Just
to imagine how anyone would just... It's like probably not only my favorite Carpenter one, but his most accessible at times. Because it's got something for everybody. The monster effects are cool. It is kind of freaky if you really want to look at it that way. And
my favorite Carpenter is Halloween 1978.
Oh, there you go.
But that's just me.
No, it's all good.
God. Oh yeah, I forgot. He did Escape from New York too. There had to be a wrestler in that.
And there should have been, man. There should have.
I mean, there had to be somebody in there. I'm just scrolling through, and no, I don't.
I
see
mean, he
anyone.
fights. He's in a wrestling ring, but that's about it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. They live. They live was just one of the. If it's on, you'll watch it.
You have to.
I mean, yeah. So, my brother has always said, a great double feature is Halloween 3 and They Live. Just because it's two techno alien thrillers, both by John Carpenter and both fun as hell. And it's so severely underrated.
Which is not something we can say about every movie because we'll see so
No.
many others and it's like, this is fun, but I understand completely why this did not channel, didn't cut the mustard, didn't get it done.
Oh man. Where do we go now? I mean, obviously, you can go to the obvious of Rocky 3.
Yep.
I mean, you got Hulk Hogan in there, Mr. T, which it doesn't really count as a wrestler, but he, hardly counts as an actor.
If you want to shit boulders, I recommend. Have you ever seen the show Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yes, I have.
Years ago, China was even on there. There's a connection. But
jeez.
There's some recent episodes where they do the whole like music, like someone gives them a music style and they have to recreate it. Like, we want you to do Pete Townsend covering Britney Spears, just stupid shit like that. And they did one is like, imagine if we did a rap, but it featured Ice-T and Mr. T, and it was a blast. I pity the fool, barbecue, because they're singing about barbecue. I pity the fool, barbecue. They've done all kinds of great music styles on there, from Keanu Reeves doing Red Hot Chili Peppers to all other kinds of stuff. So it is funny seeing I would love to see certain wrestlers. I mean, like, that's why I give John Cena a second chance, let alone The Miz, because they were on Psych and they were on all other kinds of movies. They finally learned, okay, stop being serious. It doesn't work.
Oh yeah. Have fun.
Have fucking fun. Yeah.
Let's see. There was one, just kind of wanted to mention it just because, and I have to remember, it's taking me forever to figure out who everyone was in there, but there's a movie way back, in 1988 as well, called Moving with Richard Pryor.
Oh yes. What wrestler was in that one?
Oh my God, I think it was let's see, I think Big John Studd was in it. King Kong Bundy.
Nice name.
Oh, it was all the old yeah, King Kong Bundy was Gorgo, a mover. God, I thought there were like way more, and I'm not seeing them. Unless they're trying to use the real names.
Yeah.
I thought, I thought Georgie Animal Steel was in that too. But Morris Day was in that? Holy crap. That's for In Your Ear Holes. But yeah, let's see. King Kong Bundy. What else has he been in? Is he still with? I don't think he's with us anymore. Yeah, pretty much everything else is wrestling related. So yeah, King Kong Bundy was it. Or Moving was it for him.
Yeah, and that's what would blow my mind half the time too, was, whoa, these guys get stunt work, because half the time they're playing the monster. I think we just lost the Shout out. We just lost the lovely creature suit wearer for the Black Lagoon performer.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. Black Lagoon actor Riku Browning. Sorry. Passed
Yeah.
away, but hey, good life. He lived to be 93. But I think he was he didn't. I don't think he had a background in that, but he definitely has a boxing kind of look.
Let's see. King Kong Bundy. Yeah, he died in March of 2019.
Damn.
Yeah. He was a big boy. Actually, he was 6'4". So I mean, he wasn't that tall, but he was also about 6 feet 4 inches wide. I mean, that guy was a king size mattress.
It doesn't happen for everybody, but when it does, it's really good.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do the movie, the wrestling thing.
It's I don't think many of us could, and I think that's where I feel like sometimes fans can be almost as toxic as, say, any like celebrity. I mean, I see even more just fucked up things that I'll read on just for anyone, whether it's an athlete, an adult film star, even just a politician, where it's like, whoa, where are you getting this? I can understand not liking him, but what the hell?
The problem with a lot of wrestlers being in movies is it's really hard for you're not going to see the Big Show in a rom-com. I don't think he's going to be like, he's not going to be the love interest of anyone.
I don't think he could really. I don't think he would want to either. I think, yeah.
No. Now Batista plays what movie is it? Like he just did one, and he's like,
My Spy, I think.
It looks like almost a serious, or possibly even a thriller movie where he's like a psychiatrist or something, and it's like, wow, really? Or cult leader, one of the two. I can't remember.
Knock at the Cabin.
Oh, something like that.
Yeah, he's a cult leader. Yeah, it's a new M. Night movie, and I heard a lot of people say he was really good, and people still just had more issues. The issues are always with how M. Night, what he does with his storyline.
Yeah, I mean, M. Night Shyamalan is the bigger problem. Let's see. Can we really skip over Randy Savage in 2002 Spider-Man? And being introduced by Ash from Evil Dead, Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God, I can't remember what his. By the way, he was from Columbus, Ohio. Which is about 2.5 hours south of me.
Yes, that is true. Not too far.
Let's see. He was in. Oh man. Sorry, I'm like derailing everything here.
we're looking at so many guys who are just hard to sum up because, like you say, it seemed like so many of these others.
Bonesaw McGraw. That was his name in Spider-Man. That was the wrestler that Peter Parker wanted to, was going to wrestle. To win the money to save his aunt and uncle's house or something, or the usual story.
The riffs on him love to reference just the The Bonesaw character, they'll just constantly go Bonesaw.
Yes, and of course, introduced by Bruce Campbell, because of course he was. Because Bruce Campbell has to get his hands into everything.
He should have been Darkman fighting Spider-Man.
So apparently he was also in a couple other movies as he did voices in a couple movies. Randy Savage did. Bolt, the Disney Animation Studios movie Bolt. He was a thug.
What?
And Super Rhino, another Disney direct-to-video short film. He did a voice of a thug. So really,
Yeah.
Randy Savage doing the voice of a thug.
Who do you think would win in a fight, him or Sergeant Slaughter?
I don't know. Those two ever face off in the ring?
I don't think they did.
I actually think Savage would.
I just think them mixed up, even though they're so clearly different, but just because they had that domineering. And it's so funny how Slaughter didn't serve in the military, but he was so convincing. People are like, oh, he must have served.
The thing was, Sergeant Slaughter was about as talented as Hulk Hogan in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Which is to say he wasn't talented at all in the ring. Yeah, growing up watching wrestling, I was not a Hulk Hogan fan. Well, first of all, you never saw him wrestle on the Saturday morning shows because he was too special to wrestle. So he never, he only wrestled at like house shows and then major events. You'd see the rest of these guys. I mean, fighting the jobbers. By the way, it wasn't not too long ago that I realized that jobber Barry O is actually the cousin of, he was the cousin of Randy Orton. Because Barry O, who
Orton, man.
He passed away not too long ago. Barry O, that is. The O stood for Orton. He was Cowboy Bob's nephew.
Wow.
Yeah, remember him. Did Paul Orndorff ever act?
Half the time I wonder how many of these guys just had any of their shit together.
Mm-hmm.
Because their agents sure didn't.
I mean, no, here's Bill Goldberg. Bill Goldberg, pretty much. He's another one. Just plays the same character.
Other than Universal Soldier 2, yeah, he's been wasted. I recommend Half Past Dead 2 just because it's so funny seeing rapper Corrupt go the whole movie just saying, "Are you okay, dude? You seem kind of angry." Yes, I'm an unapologetic B-movie guy, so I've seen my share of made-for-TV direct-video stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And that one was way more entertaining than it had any right to be when you're a sequel to an infamous sequel movie.
I forgot. One of the greatest wrestler appearances in a movie. And that comes from
wait for it.
He was actually a Navy SEAL too.
I think I know.
Yes. With the famous line, "I don't have time to bleed."
Oh, Jesse Ventura.
Jesse the Body Ventura in Predator. With Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers.
Sexual Tyrannosaurus Rex. Yeah.
Yeah, he was 1987. 87 was either a good year or a bad year for wrestlers and movies, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, for every Predator you get an Abraxas. So yeah, it's kind of hard to balance it out.
Yeah, definitely I mean, he was memorable in that movie. I mean, the greatest single line in a movie. I mean, people still quote it to this day, and it was
They
kind of a throwaway line too. Hey,
Way
you're
better than it had any
bleeding.
right to be.
Hey, you're bleeding. I don't have time to bleed.
I don't have time. Yeah. I decide when I'm gonna bleed.
Let's see. I mean, of course, Schwarzenegger was in it, but Schwarzenegger didn't do any wrestling, so there we
Which
go.
is so surprising because I always thought he would have a chance in a cage fight and everything, but he might not want to do that.
But then he was really only a bodybuilder, so he didn't have the fighting acumen. Let's see. Old. So let's go back. You know,
Are we going to talk about Tor Johnson?
Tor Johnson, Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Go to bed.
The Edward D. Wood.
Oh man, I love that dude. And
by the way, Tor Johnson was played by George the Animal Steele in the movie Ed Wood.
Yes. And whatever happened to the Steele?
I don't want to find out. Oh, he died in 2017.
Oh dear. So it was kind of like the one guy who played Bane in Batman and Robin, where he could have had a bigger career, but it just wasn't meant to be.
He was 79. So he was he had a good life.
I hope so, man. I'm tired of hearing all these tragic stories.
I know, at least he went to, I mean, he was a wrestler. I mean, which already shortens your life. But, hey, to live 79 years, almost 80, because he was born on April 16th and he died on February 16th. So he died 2 months short of his 80th birthday. Famous, of course, for biting and chewing the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
What is this? Let's see. He had a Bachelor of Science degree from Michigan State and a master's degree from
what could he put that
from CMU.
People are wild sometimes, man.
Hey,
we're
talking
give some shout outs to some of the other MMA guys because MMA is complex. Sometimes they use wrestling moves, other times it's street fighting mixed in with Krav Maga and other martial arts defenses. What's your take on Randy Couture?
Who?
Cauliflower ear and the Expendables.
Let's see.
If I show you a picture, you'll be like, oh, the guy, he's been on stuff like Hawaii Five-0 and a bunch of other direct-to-video action films. He's just bald, looks like a more obese, muscular Bruce Willis.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's probably been on stuff. So, can I give a shout out to a friend of mine?
Go ahead.
Currently under suspension on Twitch, but Ecto5, Ecto TV.
Oh.
He does Bad Movie Monday. He's currently on a 3-day a 3-day break because of showed some naughty bits on accidentally on a movie. So
oh dear.
I'm sure Randy Couture probably showed up on one of his movies.
Oh dear.
One of the
Not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Oh, we're talking the fun stuff like Neil Breen movies. If you've ever heard of Neil Breen.
Oh yeah, that man is amazingly bad. You gotta see his movies.
But yeah, if you get a chance, check him out Monday nights. So
all right. Well, I'm sorry his having to deal with freaking Twitch, sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, he shows bad movies. I'm sure like some of these MMA fighters have appeared in some of them. Oh, and when you're done here, I do have at least one more, and it is one that we watched on Bad Movie Monday, and it stars a wrestler.
Dum dum dum.
And a well-respected TV star. So please continue with the MMA fighters.
Oh man. So there's all kinds of ones turned actors, and Tito Ortiz has been kind of the most disappointing one because he seems like he has a perfect persona, but he hasn't been used in much. He and Kimbo Slice have kind of been in every other WWE movie. I like Quentin Rampage Jackson. He's been in some Michael J. White movies. You know him as playing Mr. T and, Baraka's character in the A-Team modern version. But his main issue is he just can't stop just getting in legal troubles.
Yeah, that tends to derail your career a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier for anyone, no matter what your profession is. And I'm sure you get 5 strikes before people are like, okay, dude, shut up.
Okay. All right. You got 5 strikes, and in about 3 more, I'm gonna really quit.
Right. You won't get anywhere.
I'm really gonna stop watching you then.
But yeah, he was in this fun movie called Cops and Robbers, a few other direct-to-video films like Death Warrior and Never Surrender. But at his best, he was in Vigilante Diaries, which, if I had to describe, is basically James Bond meets Grand Theft Auto. Check it out, have fun. Yeah, he's been in some other unreleased shit as well, and he apparently appeared on a 2010 episode as a guest host on WWE Monday Night Raw. So there you go. Anderson Silva, I would like to see. I'm so just sad that he didn't get to do that fight with that one boxer. Do you know which one? Let me look. He had a very particular name. Like he and Anderson were going back and forth, just talking shit.
I've probably heard
Roy Jones.
Roy Jones. Roy Jones Jr.
That's who it was. Yeah, and they were always back and forth saying we were gonna box, and it never happened. I'm like, why? It would have been cool to see boxer versus MMA fighting. I would have paid to see that, and I'm not even into this. But Rashad Evans, Don Fry, and Antonio Silva, and even Conor McGregor seem to be the main ones. And of course, I'm not surprised that a lot of them don't live too long or have infamous statements. They're giant kids. I've seen Keith Jardine and Tito Ortiz in small roles, but unfortunately, I don't think he's much of an actor, but I would say Chuck Liddell has kind of had the best run, just more guest spots playing henchmen and in a few movies with Dolph Lundgren.
Right.
But unfortunately, very much
Dolph
like
Lundgren. There's a name.
I was finding him laughable growing up, but once he got past the He-Man and Rocky IV and actually started doing serious stuff like Hidden Assassin and
The Punisher
and Men of War, I was like, see, I can handle him now, unlike Van Damme or Seagal, who just have way too much of a ego.
I will say this. If they did I would have liked the Thomas Jane Punisher a lot better if they had, grabbed some of that atmosphere of the Dolph Lundgren version.
Yeah, definitely more of a synthwave score. I dug the Scarface villains. Most people didn't, but I'm with you. It needed just a little extra grit. I do recommend the extended cut though, because that reveals a big police corruption and a few more messed up deaths and morbid surprises. But unfortunately, I think many have said, of all the movies, Warzone's the most fun, and then the TV show was probably the best, just in terms of interpreting the comic. But
right,
yeah, Dolph and Thomas, I would love to. I'm glad Thomas got to play him in a video game, but Dolph still gets some fan mail, so it would have been fun to see him guest star as another superhero villain down the road instead of just something like Arrow.
Right.
I'm surprised he got into martial arts later on, and how I think everyone just leaves him alone now because they find out, oh, he's not a dumb guy.
So I got another movie here. We just watched this not too long ago. Actually, probably about probably around Christmas time. On Bad Movie Mondays. And I just want to read you off some of the cast here and see if you can figure out the movie. We have Matthew Lawrence, Andrew Lawrence, and older brother Joey Lawrence.
What?
Yes. The three Lawrence brothers. There is a wrestler in this, trust me. Denise Richards.
Oh, is that
Thomas Jane.
what?
And he's not the lead.
Oh, Money Plane with the Edge. I haven't seen that one yet.
With
but
Adam Copeland.
Yeah, Copeland. Have you seen him on Vikings?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so he was getting some fandom from being on that and Stephen King's Haven, which is a fun horror comedy anthology show. If you like X-Files and Supernatural, you'll like that one. But yeah, anything that was filming in Canada, he was pretty much just making up guest spots on. But yeah, movie-wise, the whole making of that movie is way more fascinating than the junk that the movie is.
The Kelsey Grammer.
Did you hear the How Did This Get Made episode where they talked about how just recording the various like lines, like it was so micro budget they had to wait for people to stop mowing their lawn next door. That's how compromise.
So in the movie, you can, when Kelsey Grammer is on the phone, you can literally see the script in his glasses.
Oh my God.
The movie is horrible.
I figured this much.
It's one of those watch it with friends. You'll be bored silly watching it by yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you need people to bounce off, bounce criticism off. But yes, you have all three Lawrence brothers in a movie.
Unheard of, I guess. I don't know. Was the cast of Full House unavailable? Man.
Oh, that's perfect.
And if you're going to use Denise, why not use Denise? She's more entertaining when she has a gun or she's being whiny and showing her tits. And when you don't have her doing any of that, is like, it always makes me wonder, why did you hire her?
Yeah, because I believe,
it's like, I hear she shows up and does nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't, and they're pretty much Edge is a cardboard cutout. That's how he acts. And like Kelsey Grammer is like, I pretty much just don't want to be here.
That's what I heard too. And didn't they have to borrow a friend's, like, it was like a Nash Bridges moment where they had to like borrow him, like someone's giant, I don't know. It was like they had to borrow all these different boats and planes for friends. That's how low budget it was. Now, speaking of which, I know you're going to know who he is. Since you mentioned Goldberg earlier, are you a fan of his doppelganger, Stone Cold?
Oh, God. Stone Cold.
Well, he literally has just vanished and become kind of the reality TV guy. But if you look at some of his fun action movies outside of the Expendables, some of them are just fun, Taken, Man on Fire knockoffs. Others are just no different than a Roddy Piper movie back in the 90s. Right. But I'm more impressed by how most people forget he had a recurring role on Nash Bridges as this bounty hunter asshole. And he somehow worked. They would get all kinds of people, from sportscasters to reality show stars, and it was always mind-blowing. I'm like, why did they work so well on this wacky, lowbrow CBS cop show? I don't know. I don't get it. But
I think, he fits the
build, no pun intended.
He fits the build. He fits the, just the attitude, it's like pretty much, I could just picture Steve Austin walking in, just like, what's my motivation? Just be you. Just be you. Don't act. Just be you.
Don't freaking act.
That's all we need. That's all we need.
Motivation.
Yes. What's my motivation? What was Triple H in?
He was that awful henchman in Blade Trinity, the third one, playing Parker Posey and Callum Keith Rennie's main henchman, and all his insults make zero sense, even by insult standards, where you're just like, wait, what?
Parker Posey? Don't put Parker Posey in a movie like that. Parker Posey.
I know, she's a great comedian and actress, and how do you go from Boston Legal to that?
I loved her in Waiting for Guffman.
Yes. There you go. Another. So now we know if you're in the Christopher Guest camp, you've somehow been in B movies or the rest.
Yes.
I mean, Christopher Guest has a brother, Lance Guest, who's done all these voiceovers and bizarre cyborg B movies. So yeah, there you go. Oh, I know you're not gonna know her. I don't think she was WWE though. Were you a fan of Kathy Long? In relation to
Oh,
Howie Long, the quarterback. So
I'm not sure.
She had a nickname called the Punisher, I think. She was in Missouri, and just she did her share of B action movies here and there. She was guest starred on the show Street Justice, and lo and behold, she was on a Walker Texas Ranger episode, as you do. She was the fight coordinator on the movie Relentless Justice, but she did stunts for Natural Born Killers and was Michelle Pfeiffer's stunt double. But
okay.
More importantly, yeah, she did this cool. She was in the Albert Pion Cyborg and Nemesis spinoff Knights. She was the kickboxing instructor in Rami Michelle, but I like her mainly in this 1995 action movie, The Stranger, where she faces off. It's another take on the whole, one-man gun. Comes into town, and she gets to fight Andrew Divoff, the Wishmaster. You've seen him in Air Force One, and Danny Trejo, and all these other guys.
I remember those movies when they took place in Vietnam in the 1980s.
Oh yeah.
Rambo,
Blammo.
Rambo, Commando,
Rambo, yeah.
Braddock, Chuck Norris's. I mean, there were just so many of these. It was like, geez.
There's so many.
So the only the only, how to put this, the only wrestler to have played himself in a movie that is accurate to himself is Jerry Lawler. Can you guess the movie?
Warrior 2011. No. Damn it.
Man on the Moon. Jim Carrey. The Andy Kaufman biopic.
I love that movie. That's true. There's so many cameos. There's cameos by the entire cast of Taxi, for God's sakes.
So apparently, apparently Jim Carrey pissed off Jerry Lawler because he was in absolute Andy Kaufman character the whole time. He's one of those like method actors, like, once he's in character, he doesn't leave character.
I mean, that's why he drove Tommy Lee Jones crazy on that stupid Batman movie. He was like, get this Jimbo guy away from me. But it's funny how some people can handle it and other people just, I get it. Everyone's in a different mood and everything. And you're working with one of the greats of all time, Milos freaking Forman. Done so many great biopics and rewarding dramas. So it's, man.
But yeah, there is no end to wrestlers in movies. We didn't even really I know China was in a movie at one point.
Yep. Movies, so to speak.
Yeah.
Anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, I mean, you can look it up.
But yeah, I think they all, a lot of good ones. Let's see. What was Kurt Angle in? Somebody please help me. Help me remember. Oh my God.
Where do we begin?
What was he in? I mean, so Kurt Angle to me was absolutely one of the greatest introductions in professional wrestling.
He's in one of the best MMA movies of all time, Warrior. He's just playing himself.
He was hyped up as, the Olympic gold medalist, and like all these people just waiting for him. He's going to be the, people are thinking he's going to come out as like the next Hulk Hogan, level of stardom and stuff. comes out, gets introduced, comes out to the music and everything, comes up to the ring, goes, look at you people. You're pathetic. You're fat. You're out of shape.
Oh my God.
Just completely does absolute heel turn day one.
Just does a Leroy Jenkins to his career.
And everybody, I mean, well, people loved him for that, but obviously they hated the character, but people love a heel. I love the heels. I was never a never a Hogan fan.
Yeah, I'm with you. I know many people love him, but I'm just
I didn't even care for him with NWO or anything like that.
Gremlins 2 is his best movie.
What's that?
Gremlins 2 is his best movie.
I mean, he was a talentless hack in the ring.
Yeah.
All of his talent came out of his mouth, and that was it. I mean,
yeah, he was definitely a motor mouth to where he's like, seriously, we're really going here right now.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on Randy Orton?
Definitely talented. Doesn't really have the mic skills. I think that's a big problem with a lot of wrestlers.
He was a Marine, but they didn't really do much with him.
No.
I like 12 rounds too, though. Unlike 12 rounds 1, which I cannot stand. Did you see 12 rounds free with Dean Ambrose, also known as John Moxley?
No, I did not.
That started out as another fun, crooked cop versus good cop movie, like Street Kings or The Negotiator. And all those movies by WWE and Lionsgate are pretty much always filmed in Canada, and you'll recognize every other actor from like X-Files, Stargate, or Battlestar Galactica, even 24. And I recommend those both because 12 Rounds 2 is just another speed, Die Hard with a Vengeance type movie, disarming bombs, and 12 Rounds Free, again, it's just, you don't have to see anything. It's just a very fun, crooked cover-up movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I love these kind of B action films where you can watch them. In fact, 12 Rounds Free even got a limited release. So how about them apples?
Yeah, I have not seen that. I'm gonna have to recommend some of these for Bad Movie Monday, just to round out wrestling.
Absolutely, dude.
Movies.
I will totally do that with you if you want. Just
because first of all, what is it's got it's got professional wrestlers in it, so you're going to be PG-13 at most as far as rating goes. So my friend Patrick will not be in won't get himself in trouble with that. Maybe possibly flirting with copyright strike, but
I'm definitely fearing about a lot of that. It does seem like we're getting so much of that.
Like, I think in some cases, I've told him on occasions, careful with the Neil Breen stuff, because that guy is litigious.
He does not. He is just as bad as Seagal, and I don't mean in that he's a molester or anything. What I mean is that he doesn't have a good sense of humor. He takes himself too seriously. It's funny for us.
There's some people who there's some movies we watch. It's like it's like nobody cares. They're just happy you're watching it.
There's plenty of comedians who we watch just to see them, laugh at them as opposed to laugh with them. So,
but yeah, definitely. Wrestlers in movies, dear God, it's going to keep happening. That. Unfortunately, from what I hear, because I don't. I haven't watched a lot of wrestling lately, but really nobody out there today really has the mic presence. They don't have they don't have
people
the
seem to hate watch AEW back now.
They don't really they don't have the Rowdy
AEW.
Roddy.
Sorry.
Yeah. They don't have the Rowdy Roddy Piper I mean he was awesome on the microphone. Knew how to play the knew how to play the mic game. I mean, Hogan, for his lack of absolute, for his garbage wrestling talent, his mic presence, he commanded a room. The Rock, of course. I mean, The Rock, John Cena, they were all Austin. Just knew how to, they knew how to
get in, get out.
They knew how to get people fired up. Today, like Roman Reigns, I mean, he has no mic skills whatsoever. Brock Lesnar was the smartest one. I mean, because they knew he had no mic skills. I mean, I don't know how much. He really didn't have much wrestling talent. He was skilled. He could do the shoot wrestling. I mean, he and Angle had some great matches because they were both amateurs.
Yes.
They were both like Greco-Roman and freestyle wrestlers. So they could riff off each other. The thing was, Lesnar had no mic skills. So he did the smartest thing possible. He had Paul Heyman do his talking for him, which Heyman is brilliant.
Brock is just bizarre because he also just he has the most funniest memes.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and he does seem like he could be a henchman in a movie, but he just doesn't have even that presence, really.
He doesn't have the face for it. Yeah,
his face is too busy getting punched in. Sorry.
He looks like a 16-year-old kid. On like a 35-year-old steroid body. It's like, geez.
Have you seen that shirt of his? Eat, sleep, break the steak. What the fuck does that even mean?
I have no idea.
I get that's on Wikipedia and I'm cheating here, guys, but come on. I haven't seen as much of him, but I can't believe he was in fucking football. Side hustling. And then doing some UFC. So I think that's why I didn't keep up with him. He kept appearing and just I couldn't keep up with him. So I did see the movie Countdown, which is yet another WWE diehard speed type knockoff. That has Kane as the lieutenant, has Dolph Ziggler as the hero. And it's to add some chemistry to the mix. It's co-written by Richard Wink. That's right. The writer of Jack Reacher 2, Magnificent 7, Expendables 2, and the Equalizer movies. So there you go. Oh.
Sounds like a very formulaic writing style.
Is exactly it. Yeah.
Plug in characters, plug in general plot, everything else just writes itself.
Basically it. His best movies probably by far have been The Equalizer, Protege, and 16 Blocks. I know some people like The Mechanic, but that one's too predictable for me. So that makes me go, why wasn't Jason Statham a wrestler? He's got the persona of one.
But he's a little smarter.
Kane became a politician.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My friend Jason lives down in Tennessee, not too far from his county. Yeah, he's a...
I'm going to have to hear those stories.
He's a GOP... is he a congressman?
Yeah, he's a mayor, last I checked.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. He's the mayor of
who knows?
Town.
Yeah, he might have the town for it. I don't know.
Glenn Jacobs. I wonder if he ran as Glenn Jacobs or as Kane.
I will say this. I don't watch E Network because A, Howard Stern and True Hollywood Story aren't on there anymore, and B, it's crap TV. But I gotta say, those divas that are on there, smoking gorgeous. If there's anything that freaking Brock Lesnar has going for him, he's married to Sable, who, man.
Oh, Sable.
You never heard of him?
How old is Brock Lesnar?
He's 46. She's 55. Hey,
50. She's what, 55?
Yeah. No, those
Yeah, I knew
MILFs,
she
man,
was.
they need
I
some
knew
young
she
blood.
was. I knew she was older than me.
Well, what's funny is Brock looks older than he actually is. There you go.
Oh man. Oh, let's see. God. I don't even know. Like like any of the divas in movies, it's like I don't even know where to start. I know what's her name?
Oh yeah,
Oh
that
my god.
going into
Lita.
female wrestlers now. What about
Lita was, she did an episode of something and broke her neck. So,
not to be confused with the Nigerian singer? Yeah, Lita, the wrestler. Yes.
Yes.
And see, here's the again. They're all start out in Florida and pretty much roam about in that same
Oh
area.
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, hanging out with Edge. Man,
yeah, Edge, aka Adam Copeland. He's from Canada originally. He's from Toronto.
he's a Canuck. Yeah.
Or is he? Hold on. I lost Adam Copeland. I can't find him now.
He's off the grid, guys. It's a fugitive. I will say Copeland was in another wacky Die Hard 24 type clone called Interrogation. And it basically, I lost track of how many times the camera looked like it was on a camcorder sliding around. And he said, "Look, guys, we got to go." He would literally, he prides himself. Get this. Here's why you got to see this freaking goofy B picture C movie. He goes in, he's like the world's explosives expert. And he just keeps going into a room and saying, "We gotta go." And instead of disarming it, like it's just always blowing up. And so this is why you gotta like all these stupid wrestler-led movies.
He's an explosive expert. I guess
Right.
he knows
how to stop
I ain't gonna fuck
terrorists.
with
And
this.
it's just so funny how they just go around and it only works if you go by G.I. Joe logic, It's like
clear everybody out and then let it blow up.
Oh, yeah.
Or you do the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles thing and make them all robots.
There
and then
you
you can blow
go,
them up.
cyborgs. So now it's actually cool all of a sudden for 20 minutes, and it makes you forget that there's nothing. It's a bare bones plot. Plot? What plot? Fast and Furious makes better sense.
This is just to sell toys.
Yeah, right.
I sometimes felt that way.
I don't know why
wrestling.
people get annoyed by those. They're just to sell toys.
Oh yeah. I mean, He-Man, that's all the cartoon was a vehicle to sell toys.
Anything Barbie is a toy movie, but it hides under the satire. The Lego movie is also meant to sell more Legos.
Watch The Toys That Made Us on Netflix.
Great
the
show.
He-Man episode. Oh my God.
I think I might have seen part of that one along with the Star Trek one, and I was just like, man, people had more time back in the day.
Oh man.
So it's hard to come to a conclusion because you kind of want to explore all these guys and what they can do, but truth be told, it's looking pretty limited for them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, it's hard to, it would really be hard for like the great Khali to be in a,
oh my God. Did you see him in The Longest Yard with Goldberg?
Oh jeez. Was he in that?
Yes, he was. I had a coworker who was obsessed with that movie and he'd be like, Khalid.
Did he move at all? Because the dude can barely walk.
I think he was just a hunk. He wasn't actually really doing anything.
Yeah, it's been ages since I've watched wrestling. I do have Peacock, so I could probably I'm not going to say catch up because I really don't want to.
Where do we catch up?
But I could probably, I've actually thought about going through all the WrestleManias.
Are you really?
Maybe. I've watched one already. And then there was you got to watch the Montreal Screwjob at least at least twice in your life, because still one of the greatest wrestling matches I would love to find Jake Roberts and Terry Funk in a First Blood match that turned real because they actually hated each other. And they were actually for real beating the shit out of each other.
Well, and you and I don't watch wrestling anymore, but what I get saddened by is that there's no more of the behind the scenes in the locker room getting all meta, or I miss when they would have celebrities on there. So I got to ask you, what are your favorite cameos by celebs? Like, I love it when Schwarzenegger went on there to promote Into Days. I love when Sam Jackson was on there to promote Shaft. And then they had Drew Carey on because he's a former Marine. He's like, I can take you.
I'm going to say special guest ring announcer for WrestleMania 1, Liberace.
Liberace, of all people, the most non-wrestling as you can get.
Oh no, I'm sorry. He was guest timekeeper.
Still, like,
I'm still like, what the fuck?
Who lit that
What
up?
were they thinking? Muhammad Ali is a guest referee.
Where did that come from?
Well, he was still,
don't get me wrong, he
was
could totally
still
kick all these guys' asses.
Oh yeah,
man is built.
Oh no, that's right. He was the guest referee. It was a boxing match. I think it was at actually I think that was WrestleMania 3. I want to say it was Roddy Piper versus Mr. T in a boxing match.
Oh my god, that's great.
I have to go back. I cannot remember these things off the top of my head, but
no one can. And anyone who can, I fear for your safety.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm old.
I love all these different B schlocky movies, but even I gotta make sense and clear the fecal matter in my brain once in a while.
Oh yes.
Deep hurting.
Deep hurting is right. Oh God.
But this has been a delight just talking with you on these, because it's just a special kind of zaniness. Like, I have people who hate action movies but are big horror guys and sci-fi people, and they watch stuff like this. It's a weird kind of cross culture, and people who, for whatever reason, I see people who are into football and baseball but can't stand this. So and then I see people who watch pretty much any kind of live event. They'll watch anything stupid, even if they hate it. Like, I would see people hate watch something like, I don't know, Bill O'Reilly or Tucker Carlson or freaking Jim Rome. So I'm like, I don't know how you would even want to waste time doing any of that, but okay.
Oh yeah, enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourself in a non-dirty way.
I enjoy I like sci-fi, I like horror. I love B and C and D tier horror movies.
Absolutely. You're gonna get
horrible.
to them eventually.
I've seen stuff that, like, bad movies, but you realize that, this is somebody's passion project, that, it's not good, but you understand that they put their heart into this.
Oh yeah. There are movies that I will never admit to even my folks that I have watched, because I know they will be like, when were you watching this? I'm like,
I love comedy. The problem is I prefer
the unintentional comedies too.
I don't want to sound like I don't want to sound like, like an old man, but they just don't do comedy anymore. They don't do comedy. Yeah,
Ted Lasso's been one of the few that have dared to cross, but everything else is often really.
Give me Airplane, give me the Naked Gun
Black Dynamite.
series. Oh yeah.
Something instead of laugh. Like, I don't know why do they do freaking, I don't know.
Spoof movies suck anymore.
They really do these days. People were like, oh, this new spoof movie that makes fun of black people not dying first in a movie. I'm like, I don't know. That just already sounds like a trope upon a trope. I don't.
No, what's funny is
when it was first funny. Now I don't find it funny anymore.
I feel like one of the really good horror movies that almost crossed into being a spoof was the first Scream.
Right?
Because it was Wes it was basically Wes Craven just
He went all-
deconstructing horror movies.
He went all Roger Corman, Joe Dante in a way, yeah.
Oh yeah, and he deconstructed the whole formula. Never. This person dies first. This is basically just unwrapped all the tropes right there in front of you and said, "Here you go. Here's the whole movie. We're gonna spoil it for you, but you're not gonna realize we're spoiling it till the end."
Right?
It's a fun movie. I love a good Wes Craven. So
Isn't it funny though? I've kind of seen a little bit of crossover. Talking about horror fans, I do see every once in a while I see people who like wrestling and they like stuff like Jason and Scream.
Mhm.
And in a way, the Ghostface Killer is kind of a wrestler.
Oh yeah.
He's an amateur with a knife who fears nobody. And anybody can be him because
Mhm.
everyone is so in the style. Kind of goes back to what you're talking about earlier. Wrestlers getting in trouble for plagiarism or being too similar.
Mhm.
Are you surprised that The Undertaker hasn't crossed over? Or is he very much, like you say,
No.
kind of hackneyed?
I think his character's hackneyed. I think it's
Because you just recognize him instantly, just seeing this guy
Yeah.
who goes around with a black hat on, who
I mean,
looks
he's not-
like the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers.
like Kane can do the horror movie because he already looks like
He looks like a pedophile
he looks like
or
he
serial
could
killer.
be. Yeah,
Not to be mean, but looks like the type.
Undertaker looks like a cartoon character of
Right?
a horror movie, of a horror character. I don't think the Undertaker, I don't think it's a shock. I think
I just saw the new Mission Impossible, and I would respect Tom Cruise 100% if he played a serial killer. Close as he got to squad.
That's another episode.
I know. I'm the worst.
Talking about Tom Cruise is that's
wrong sauce in and of itself. I know.
Oh yeah.
Why would you do that to yourself, Cameron?
I could do an Illuminati Social Club on that. Of course, I don't want to get sued. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, Undertaker, I think I liked him when he came out, and then he did the whole American Badass shtick, and then then he went back to the Dead Man, and it was like the illusion was broken then, and it's like after a while it was like he was almost just a gimmick in the ring.
Yes, many of them really are.
And I mean, he could bear, he walks with two canes now, and neither of them is Glenn Jacobs. Sorry, bad joke. But yeah, they really,
really, man, really nice.
He's yeah, I think a lot of let's see. Triple H could probably do like a Conan style movie.
My God, yes.
At one point, he could.
Then as a fun reversal, Jason Momoa can be a wrestler for 2 months.
Yeah. Because I mean, Triple H always had like that cartoon character build to him. I mean, he looked like
for whatever reason that is true.
Figures.
I never thought of that, and probably his best performance is that one Star Trek Enterprise episode. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Now
yes, he was on that show.
Luckily, I don't have Paramount, so.
Oh,
my girlfriend does, but
that's all right. I saw it on Prime. Anyway, yeah. There were so many guys. They really missed the boat on. They could have been either a B, C list, D list movie star playing a monster in horror movies, or a vigilante in action, but I'll just have to settle for they'll have to just play a henchman or get some Marvel money, I guess.
Oh, duh, that's right. Big Show is in Adam Sandler movie.
That's who I'm thinking of. But yeah, I would get him in Triple H.
Adam Sandler movie.
Oh my God.
He was Captain Insano. That's right.
Captain Insano.
Was he was that Billy Madison, or was that the no, it wasn't the golf movie.
Oh,
Or was the foosball movie? I can't. The thing is, they all blend together.
right. They really do after a while.
This big show, aka Paul White,
the whitest dude you know.
Spelled like Isle of, not bread. That is WIGHT. I can't find it, and frankly, I'm gonna stop looking now.
Somewhere over the rainbow.
Yeah, no idea.
It disappeared a long time ago.
Oh well.
Oops.
Well. Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember. Can't remember the name of the movie.
God damn it. Son of a bitch.
He was in a movie with Adam Sandler. If anyone out there knows what it is, let me know, because I can't remember. And I don't. The thing is, going through IMDb, the thing is, you have to go through all the wrestling specials and stuff.
Mazes is like, don't.
It just you got to scroll and scroll and scroll, because every pay-per-view, every videotape, every interview is a separate appearance. So
it really is.
Yeah. Oh,
great having you on here. Now it's time to plug. Not in the butt. Just time to plug your show, not in the butt.
Oh well, thank you. Yeah, so you can find me you can find me on whatever it's called now. It's either X, or it went back to Twitter, or something else is Twitter, and X is something else, at Alien CG, pretty much everywhere.
Nice.
I do the Illuminati Social Club.
Still doing it? Nice.
Oh yeah. Well, every so often when I
it's a conspiracy, Ventura.
Oh yeah. You mentioned the Turtle Stash cast. That is done. But it's just it is all 6 seasons of the original 1970s In Search of TV show. That myself, Oliver Rockside, and our friend Doc Pinko, Steve Cloutier, reviewed every single episode, a couple of them line by line. You'll find out that those are the religious ones.
There you go.
Heartburn Honeys with me and Heavy D. AKA Stephanie. What else do I do? In Your Earholes with Oliver Rockside. The Showhole.
Love Oliver. He is very badass black man.
The Showhole with myself, Oliver Rockside, Heavy D, Doc Pinko, Steve Cloutier, and our good friend Jason from Armpit, Tennessee, up in this brain. Anything else I do? No, that's it. That's all I do. That's
sure about that?
That's all I do. I swear. If you find me doing anything else, it's not me. I'm not making any cameos
online, guys. Sorry.
I'm not making any cameos in any B movies or anything. So,
damn it.
Yeah, sorry. Nobody's asked yet.
We'll get there.
So
we will get there.
Yeah. So this was fun.
Absolutely, man. It was
an absolute
pretty
blast.
much to the point.
Hope I didn't go on too long.
No, just perfect.
Hope I didn't, derail too much. But that's what I'm good at. If you've listened to anything I've ever done, all I do is derail.
Derail.
I don't do anything scripted. Not a fan.
Scripting sucks.
I've done a couple scripted things, but I much prefer just getting together with people and talking. So that's the most talking I've done in a long time.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening.
It's a jacked up review show.